Hello and welcome. For those of you that don't know, I'm Raine with Raine's Realm, and I help people manifest success through spiritual supplies and education. And today we are continuing with our Bible study. We are still in Genesis right now, but after this we are going to be going by topic more than just going through each chapter. Sorry that this one took a little bit longer. What I thought was the original message of this passage, it turns out was not. So it took a little bit of rearranging, and so here we are. So we are in Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. So we're going to stop there. It's a lot that has happened in just the first 6 chapters of Genesis. We had the creation of everything, and then we have the creation of man and woman, and we have the two people right there. We got the couple who disobey and got kicked out of the garden. Very first people kicked out. Then their children. We have our first murder with that. So just very next generation, we have our first murder. And then not long after that, it seems that we have so it says giants in the newer versions, and then in some text it says Nephilim. And it seems that if you cross-reference with the other parts of the Bible where the phrase sons of God, it seems that it's referencing angels. So not that many generations later, we have angels and humans coming together and creating, and having these giants, these Nephilim, these offspring that are very upsetting to God. So we're only in chapter 6, and we've got disobedience, kicked out of the garden, murder. We had somebody else, bragging that they could have murdered. And now we have basically like abominations on the earth in just the first 6 chapters. So, and I know that the angels and people thing is controversial sometimes. I know that not everybody agrees with that, but, read the text for yourself, come to your own conclusion. My job is not to tell you how to think. Just for you to make sure that you're thinking for yourself. So the point in all of this is it's not about angels and people. Originally I thought it was, but it's not. So the point of all of this is that we have this many things that have happened in just this short period of time. And then, and then it's going to go into Noah's Ark and that. And then, you know what? After that, it's going to go into more disobedience. It's going to go into more mess ups, however you want to look at it. And it's going to continue with that. So, if there's this many big situations in the first 6 chapters of the first book, why are we worried so much about what other people do? I mean, is that really where your energy needs to go? Because I know that that's one thing that's a big hang up for people with Christianity in general and Abrahamic faiths. Is their big thing that I always hear is judgmental Christians, judgmental Christians, judgmental Christians. And I've seen it. And, even in Matthew and Mark, it's, judge not that ye be judged, for with the measure you use, it shall be put unto you. So, now, there's a difference between guiding somebody, helping somebody understand, certain guidelines of God. There's a difference between that and the perception that it's your job to call somebody else out on something that either you deem ungodly or that the Bible, may say is ungodly. That's not your job. Now, again, like I said, gentle guidance, sure. Maybe in certain situations a little more than that, okay. But it seems to me that it's kind of become an epidemic of certain people thinking that they're holier than thou and judging the people around them. Like, ooh, look at me. I've never committed adultery, so I'm going to judge everyone else around me for every single thing. Well, it says he who is without sin cast the first stone. And, that was basically like saying nobody could cast the first stone. And so you're not really supposed to be dedicating all of this energy into judging and worrying about what other people do and whether what other people do is right or wrong. I don't think that that's where your energy is supposed to go. I think your energy is supposed to go into creating positive change. And that's not by hammering other people down or acting, trying to decide who can attend a church and who can't because of what kind of relationship they're in. Or any of those things, a lifestyle you disagree with, or maybe they're dealing with some vice or addiction or something like that. You got a lot of people gatekeeping the church. And here we got in the first 6 chapters of the first book, we've got like this many different things going on. The point is that people have never been perfect. They're not perfect now. Nobody is going to be perfect. And so worrying about that is really wasting your time, and it's not serving your purpose. If you are trying to show God's love in the world, the way to do it is not trying to point out to everybody else what they're doing wrong. Or, that phrase, love the sinner, hate the sin. I know it's a well-meaning phrase, but it really just comes across judgmental because you're sinning too. So can we all just stop focusing on who's doing what right, who's doing what wrong? Like, pretty much all the sins are equal. So if you're lying, you're doing something just as bad. Or, having a questionable thought or whatever. We're going to get into that more in a different episode too. But worrying about the wrong things. Why are you not focusing more on using whatever your spiritual gift is for positive change? Why are we so focused on making sure that we have informed everyone else around us of what they're doing wrong? I mean, first 6 chapters, it was already bad enough that God was like, I'm done, I'm flooding it, we're starting again. And there's so many other examples after this. So, people are flawed. People are not always going to make the best decision. Neither are you. So maybe instead of worrying about what everybody else around you is doing, maybe you would be better served by actually doing positive things, actually showing positive change, embracing the good, encouraging and fostering the good that you see in people instead of pointing out and policing the bad. I understand that, there are certain texts that do mention, like guidance and things like that. Sure. But it doesn't mean nitpicking other people. There's also, the whole remove the plank from your eye before you worry about the little, speck in somebody else's. And, I know that I'm not giving you a whole ton of references right now for this. But for those of you that read the Bible regularly, these verses are probably very familiar to you. And if not, they're easily Googleable. I will be giving a lot of references for the other things because we're going to be moving around in the Bible. My point for this and the message for this is that if you had this many things in just the beginning, and then you have other examples throughout, we get it. People are not perfect. So instead of taking your time pointing out how imperfect the next person is, now is your time. Here is your call to focus on positive change. Focus on the things that actually matter. I hear so many people talking about spiritual warfare and stuff like that. And y'all really think you're fighting it by pointing out the faults of somebody else. Come on. I know that's not what you feel called to do. So, if you believe the Bible, if you believe that there is, a spiritual war going on, then why don't you take some time and listen and see what you are specifically being called to do about it. What's your spiritual gift? How should you be using that to serve God? Because calling other people out on stuff, it ain't it. And there's a difference between, different debates on things, but to just walk around and, that person does that. That's not godly. That person does that. That's sinful. Look what that person's doing. It ain't it. Or like I said, gatekeeping the church. And, people who actually want to be there because they're living together outside of marriage, or they're in a relationship that you don't agree with, or they have some addiction they're fighting, or whatever. They have a past that is sinful. And you really going to try to keep them out of God's house when they want to be there? Anybody who wants to be in the church should be welcomed in the church. Who are you to gatekeep it? I mean, the Bible's full of examples of people messing up. Look at some of the people that Jesus chose to be around him. Come on. Come on. But we're going to sit here and act like church is some prestigious organization where we can gatekeep and we can judge people and we can point out all the faults of other people and putting absolutely zero energy into actually doing something that might be considered God's work. So, my point today for you guys is to really think about what I'm saying and really think about what you see around you. Ask yourself if your place of worship is welcoming. Ask yourself if you are going around telling other people how wrong they are, or if you're finding the good in other people and you're fostering that. Ask yourself if you're using your spiritual gift or wasting it. And ask God what you should do with that information, where you should go from here. Next episode, we are going to actually be talking about spiritual gifts, and we are going to get in it. So I hope you guys are prepared for that. I'm very excited. I've definitely got some big things in the episode that we're going to talk about and we're going to discuss. If this video helped you in any way or any of it resonated with you, please click the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you never miss a video. Super excited to see you guys for this next discussion. If you have any insight, experiences, opinions, anything like that, I welcome the discussion. Please share them below. As always, please be respectful when you do so. And I can't wait to see you guys later on this week. Thanks so much for watching and have an incredible day. Bye.